Africa, a mysterious continent whose name alone conjures images of wild animals, exotic cultures, and wild amounts of desperation. Thanks to LTCFP, their partners, carriers, and vendors, a new level of wild is becoming a reality for hundreds of children. Hope is a real word. Happiness is a daily expectation, and education is the way to a higher, brighter future. Like many African communities, Western Kenyan villages suffered the devastating effects of poverty and HIV/AIDS. Practically an entire generation has been lost to this epidemic. The children were left without hope, opportunity, or love. Some of these children are fortunate to have the care of aging grandparents. Some to other extended family, yet others receive the care of preteen siblings. Quite often, sheer survival is questionable, education impossible, and prosperity unthinkable. With the help of the partners, we are making a huge difference. A few with limited means of their own have been working tirelessly to cope with the rising tide of illness, poverty, and orphaned children that HIV/AIDS has brought to these communities. This work began less than a decade ago by collecting orphan children and putting them into primary schools. Then, with the help of some of the others in the villages, they gathered up nursery-age children and began providing food, medicine, and eventually a teacher, all paid for from their own pockets. 5 children became 10, and then 15, and now with the help of the partners, the nursery school serves over 150 children.
As a company, when we first heard about it, we saw a video and it was mostly children, tons of orphans that we had an opportunity to help. So that's how it started out, wanting to help these children. And what it's kind of transpired to is getting projects going that not only help those children, but their parents, or the lack thereof, their grandmothers, their aunts, their uncles. And so we've gone to help build their schools. We built a new community center where the women's group who started the project can go and meet.
And the number of children also in our nursery school has increased considerably, and we've had enough to keep them going in terms of food. And our vision is to ensure that at the end of the day, these children will have enough food.
Nursery project has a feeding wing, apart from the educational aspect, that takes care of 2 meals and 2 snacks a day.
The cooking staff starts early, preparing, cooking, cleaning, and feeding the children. With electricity only arriving to the village recently, they still cook over wood fires to provide for the kids.
One of the biggest hindrances that I've been experiencing as a leader here, we have total orphans who are not able to take care of themselves during public holidays and weekends when we close. It becomes a tall order on them, and sometimes they've got to run back to my mother, Rosmel, for their upkeep. We have around 5 cases of children who go to primary school. They don't have mothers and fathers, and therefore they must fall back to the project, the nursery, for their feeding. That is the much we can do for now, because our hands are tied.
When we talk about sustainability, we not only talk about sustaining the lives of hungry nursery school children. The sustainability of the system is what is so impressive. Feeding and educating the children and elevating the entire village out of poverty requires a very long-term dedication.
Not everything must come from donors. The soil is here, rains are here, we have the brain. So what you need to do is to be educated on how to use what you have, the facilities that are available. So they give us something little, we contribute the labor, we do the work by ourselves, because they cannot, they have to show us and jumpstart 1, 2, 3 things so that we continue. And if we continue that way, we reduce the level of poverty around here, and the people will have a healthy life. That's what I can say.
One of those things that we jump-started is a great source of pride for the villages. The children need a school. To build a school, you need bricks. And the Brickworks has done a great deal of good for the entire community.
What this thing has brought to the community, it has brought a very big change, especially the Brickworks. The youths are employed. So the level of poverty was actually reduced. So the Brickworks actually has brought a very big effect change in the life of the nursery students who are here, and especially the village as a whole.
Instead of simply building a school, the partnership provided the tools and they built their own school. They also manufacture bricks to sell for cash. The village gets far more for the money contributed. They make money to sustain themselves and they employ their own. With this capability, we also helped build the first of many badly needed classrooms for the primary school. Despite the poor physical conditions in which these primary-age children are taught, their pure spirit comes through.
They want to sing for you one song.
At the primary school, where our nursery children go after graduating, of the 8 grades taught, there are only 3 good classrooms. 2 classes meet outside under the trees, while the remaining 3 classes meet in the better of the condemned classrooms. Without the partnership, there would be little hope. Although the government wishes to help, there are simply not the resources available to make it possible. It will be decades before the country's infrastructure will be in place to guarantee education for its children. All across the continent, education is a priority without means.